So
let's talk about some movies.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
What movie we starting off with first?
Lord of the Rings.
Alrighty.
It goes first. Always.
Okay, because it's the most bland.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Alright, which one are we talking about?
The Two Towers.
And what's your thoughts on Two Towers?
One of the greatest pieces of cinema I've ever seen in my life.
What do you like about Two Towers?
Well, there's the 2.5 hour long battle scene, of course, that is insane and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You got Gandalf riding in with the winged hussars, bringing light to the darkness. It's there's not much to hate about this movie. There's nothing to hate about this movie, actually. But there's a lot to love. A whole lot to love about this movie. It's beautiful.
Is it? Wow.
It's a beautiful movie.
What a great review.
That is, yeah.
That was incoherent rambling.
That was art. It was art.
Brad, what's your thoughts on Two Towers?
It's a fun, epic fantasy movie.
Yep, it is, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I like all the characters.
Yes, you do.
I like the fight scenes.
Yes, you do.
It doesn't feel too long.
No, it doesn't.
Despite being a very long movie.
3.5 hours.
I really enjoy it. That's, yeah.
J.R.R. Tolkien is a prophet.
But technically, he didn't make the movie. He just wrote the books.
No, but the movies themselves, are actually direct renditions of the book. Surprisingly, they didn't change a damn thing from the book to the movie, and they've actually included. That's why the movies were so long. Is because they included every little detail from the book, minus like some minute ones, into the movie. That's
okay.
Why. So
okay.
Yeah.
And
So if you've because I've read the book and I've watched the movie, and there is legit. If you've watched the movie, you've read the book.
okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, for real.
My thoughts on Two Towers is it's good. It's a good movie.
No.
It's a good movie.
No, it isn't.
It is a good movie.
No, it's a masterpiece.
It is a good movie.
No, it's a masterpiece.
I enjoy the huge ass fight scene.
Of course you do.
Like Brian said, the characters are interesting. The
What about
score's pretty good.
The suicide orc. What do you think about that?
But
That was awesome.
again, it's not my type of movie.
You're not into the fantasy stuff.
No, not really. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, you're into like this edgy,
edgy art stuff.
Edgy artsy.
Were they?
Given your
alt-rock.
pick for this week.
Oh, my pick for this week is Insanity.
Begotten.
We'll get to that later, though.
Yeah, but it is a good movie, and coming from someone like me that ain't into movies as much like this, I feel like that's actually more of a glowing review because you love this. You love these movies.
Yep.
I don't, but I still find a lot of enjoyment in Two Towers.
Yeah.
It's a quality movie. It's really well made, really well directed.
I feel like you'd have to be a very bad person to not find anything in Lord of the Rings that you didn't like.
Well, the first one I don't love that much.
Well, no, but you still do enjoy it, though.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't like watching it at all.
We talked about the first one last week.
Wait. But the 3 Lord of the Rings movies, I pretty much count them all as the same movie. So you still found something in the Lord of the Rings that you found that you like.
Yeah.
So you're not really an inherently bad person. You just found a way to be bad later on.
Oh my god. But I give what's your all scores for Two Towers?
15 out of 10.
Okay, what's yours?
For Two Towers,
Totally arbitrary.
9. I give it a 9.
I give it an 8.
See? And you know what's great? All of our scores are purely arbitrary and don't matter.
They don't matter at all.
No.
Scores are stupid.
Alright, next.
Alrighty. What movie are we talking about next?
It's between mine and yours. Which one?
I do want to
Underworld.
I do want to save the insanity for the end.
Underworld. Let's do
You
it.
wanna talk about
Kind of like in the tall grass. Have we saved that for the end?
Well, no,
Okay.
Begotten's a pretty tame movie.
Is it?
You're pretty tame.
I seen some.
Underworld's got a whole lot of chaos to it, though, man. I tell you what.
I tell you.
There was a chicken leather doing backflips. It's crazy.
It's not a studio movie at all with blue lighting everywhere and 2000s music
God.
everywhere.
I do have to.
Wasn't Lincoln Park in there somewhere?
I cannot remember.
I would imagine that there was some Lincoln Park in there.
I honestly I did not pay much attention while rewatching it. Like I had it on the background of the TV and I would walk around and do stuff.
I didn't rewatch it. I just went back and watched The Matrix again, and I was like, "Yep, this is the movie."
I didn't rewatch Underworld this
It's great
week.
Underworld.
I did watch a really good review of it though, by this YouTuber who specializes in vampire movies in general. I think her YouTube name was Maven of the Eventide.
Mm-hmm.
Is the name of her YouTube channel, and she actually pointed out a pretty interesting criticism in it that that I thought was kind of cool was the fact that despite it being a vampire movie, there's hardly like any human beings to the movie. Like human beings are typically like in the background. Like there's no like vampires having to feed off humans because they got blood banks that they can turn to. There's the point she made pretty much was the fact that there doesn't seem to be any moral or ethical dilemma to vampires in this movie because of the human element being taken out of it. But really, that's not and I thought that was an interesting criticism for it. That was an interesting point. But really, that wasn't even like the biggest criticism I have in the movie. The biggest criticism I have is there any visual storytelling in this movie at all?
Blue's Clues.
Like, this movie is pretty much just a bunch of people sitting around and talking.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
and it's
much.
Bad talking as well.
Oh god, I hate the dialogue.
The
in this
talking
movie.
is terrible.
The dialogue is so bad. It's like this purple prose, grandiose garbage.
It's funny. it is funny. I would see whenever I rewatched, a lot of it. Again, I didn't pay attention throughout the entire movie because I honestly just did not care. But I did laugh at a lot of it. It did fall into the category of becoming so bad it's good. So I'd give it that.
I still hate the movie.
It's still a bad movie, but
here, listen to the soundtrack, Brian. I think that you will love the soundtrack. Here's just some artists: Pussifer.
I love Pussifer. Actually, Pussifer is awesome.
Amy Lee.
Okay.
David Bowie featuring Maynard James Keenan and
awesome.
John.
That sounds awesome.
And don't interrupt me. And John Frusciante. Skinny Puppy. Amy Lee again. A Perfect Circle.
Awesome.
The Dillinger Escape Plan. And more Perfect Circle. Icarus Line. A fairly good edge-based soundtrack for the movie, I think.
with that blue lighting.
That's right.
Perfectly.
Here's a fun fact about Dillinger Escape Plan. Me and Brian actually watched their final concert that they ever performed.
I don't know who these people
We did.
are.
Oh, I didn't either, and I still don't know who they are. But I do know that we watched their final concert because
I did not know this.
Yeah, I know, right? I almost forgot it too until he said this is also our final concert. I was like, oh, so we just watched the Dillinger Escape Plan's final concert.
I did not remember that at all.
Yeah, there was a screamo band. We watched it Rock on the Range that year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, besides Whitechapel.
But anyway,
Either way, that was a fun fact.
But this pretty much like
knowledge.
I think the best example though that I have of it is pretty much of like how bad the talking is in this movie is like everybody's talking about like this vampire queen that's coming into town and how important her visit is, and we're gonna have a big meeting, and oh dear God, when this vampire lady shows up, we got to be ready, and she's killed, like in a werewolf ambush, and. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like it spends all day just explaining how big and epic the vampire world is. It doesn't show any of it, though.
Well, there's a reason. Money. Budget. You can't. But you can write that it's big, let me tell you. I can tell you all about how big and great and perfect this place is and how dangerous. It's like what would happen if basically...
Yeah.
You did an entire movie where, say you were playing the Arkham game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, oh, there's this Arkham City, right, that you can go explore.
Right.
And you play as Batman. And then they didn't have the budget to finish Batman or Arkham City, so you just walk around as Bruce Wayne for 12 hours.
Another fun fact for you all. The director of this movie was married to Kate Beckinsale.
No wonder she done it.
Until last year.
No wonder she was in these.
Yeah.
Huh.
She was also in Van Helsing.
Yeah, I knew that.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Another movie I might...
It just goes to chess pieces of shit.
That movie I love. That movie's awesome.
But,
I like it, but it's not good.
I loved these movies as a teenager, though. These were like...
Well, Girl in Black Leather.
Well, because I was...
no.
When I was around 15, 16 years old, I was kind of becoming a fan of like vampires and werewolves and urban fantasy and supernatural stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this movie had pretty much everything a 15-year-old boy wanted.
What Brian will tell you.
A bunch of guns.
Werewolves, guns, boobs,
swords.
and boobs.
Yeah.
Big fight scenes and Kate Beckinsale in tight black leather.
That's what I was about to say. That's what Brian will tell you. He was a big fan of vampires, but he was a bigger fan of
Kate
Kate
Beckinsale.
Beckinsale.
I think that's anybody who watches that movie.
Yeah.
Typical teenage boy.
Didn't even know her name until just now. Didn't know that was who that was.
I did.
She's actually a good actress. I don't know why she's in these pieces of crap until you pointed out that fact.
Fun fact. It was a fun fact.
Fun fact of the day.
And she is the best part of these movies.
Oh, yeah. That's not saying much.
Take a wild guess at what else Lynn Wiseman, the director of Underworld, directed.
What?
Independence Day.
No.
No, he did, no. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong list. I'm sorry. He did Underworld, Live Free or Die Hard, Underworld, Total Recall, Underworld.
Yeah. Good Lord. Did he do another Underworld movie?
Yeah, but he did 5.
But,
no, I take it back. 6.
Jesus Christ.
But honestly, and I actually have a pretty good way of like cleaning up this movie and actually making it good, I think. First off, I would have taken away just like I would have taken away the 2,000 year long blood feud aspect of it and just made it kind of like a turf war. Mm-hmm. Pretty much nothing more than that. Just
kind of almost like a vampire version of a mob movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And to address the whole humanity aspect to it, because I do think that YouTuber that I watched, I think she was right in that, yeah, it does kind of take away from it when you take the away. I would have made the Michael guy, the chosen one, I guess, in this movie. I would have just made him like a cop trying to investigate the turf war and just goes in too deep. And I wouldn't have turned him into a vampire or a werewolf that the whole movie. I would have just kept him human. And just had it like this 3-way violent battle between humans, vampires, and werewolves, and just put a bunch of action scenes in it.
I don't think this much about the Underworld movies. I think they're studio movies that were dumb.
Yeah.
But I am glad that you were able to find some solution to make these garbage movies go through.
This is what I would have done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've done that with movies too, but...
One.
Not the Underworld movies. The Assassin's Creed movie, I remember we had a lot of discussion about what could have made that better.
I actually kind of view Assassin's Creed and Underworld kind of in the same light as like these movies that I think could be good,
but they're
not.
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed had more of an advantage because it actually had a great director, great cast, all these things attached to it. But 2 buffoons as writers and a studio that just hacked it all to pieces.
Yeah.
With a cleaver. So, but what's your all's score on Underworld?
2.
A 2 out of 10?
Yep.
Ah, that's pretty high.
4.
4. I'm giving it a 4. I'm giving it the same score as Brian because
there is some entertainment to be had
I
with the
found it
movie.
pretty funny at times.
There is some entertainment. I love the guy playing the villain. Just how animated he gets.
Yeah. All right. Before we get to Begotten, I do want to make a shout out to Michael Ellswick.
Oh yeah,
who done this phenomenal logo for us that you're seeing right now.
Right.
We actually had the logo last week, but we didn't do the shout out. It just completely slipped our mind. But I figured I'd give him the shout out. It's amazing. It's Evil Dead inspired.
Yeah, he's also doing the one for the gaming channel.
Yep, that is right.
Yeah.
Why have we not talked about Evil Dead on here for some reason? That is weird, seeing our thing is inspired by Evil Dead.
That might be my next movie.
Okay.
Actually.
But
no, I'm still thinking on it.
We'll move to Begotten.
Yeah.
I really don't want to start this off.
You don't?
I will.
Okay.
I'll start it off. So, I was just sitting bored one day, and I remember that Tyler had recommended a movie for me to watch. Dude, he told me it was a black and white movie. I didn't know much about it. He said it was a bit weird. So I type it in on the YouTube, those fateful words, Begotten. Movie 1992. I look at the movie and it's black and white. It starts with an old shriveled up man gutting himself with a straight razor. And I was immediately enthralled. I love this movie. I loved it. It's so good.
What is it?
Yeah, it doesn't cut away from it. Does not cut away from it. He's sitting there rocking back and forth, just gutting himself like nobody's business, just chopping away at his innards. And after a minute or two, about 10 minutes of just showing him gutting himself.
Literal 10 minutes.
Yeah, he just sort of kicks back in the chair, takes one last breath.
I am tired.
And then it's all over the floor and dies. And then a woman crawls out from in the shit. It's fun. It's a good movie.
Now, what do you think the movie's about?
Oh, it's about the birth. Well, from what the actual synopsis of the movie, it says that it's about the death and rebirth of gods and deities.
That's Mother Earth there.
Yeah. My thought is that it sort of shows the creation of gods and death of gods. Really, that's about all it is. Maybe even like sort of because the creation myths of like all the old mythologies of old, like because there's actually a bunch of similarities between this movie and like the creation myths of like Greek like the Greek creation legends.
Okay,
it's like cannibalistic and just raw.
I agree with Brian's perspective, but I can see your point where you're coming from.
Yeah,
because it does have a lot of like the vibe of basically like an Old Testament kind of feel. At times.
Yeah,
like an eye for an eye, and I can see that.
I'll be honest. After I watched this movie, I had to watch a breakdown video.
Well, the movie. It really is like very vague.
I watched a breakdown video by a YouTuber named Spooky Rice. I think he's
awesome.
Yeah. And I watched I read the Wikipedia synopsis. Mm-hmm. And coming away from that, the interpretation I pretty much took from it is that over and over again, Mother Nature is constantly trying to prove that humanity is worth saving to me, to where she's constantly like getting God to create the world, create humanity, and every single time humanity violates Mother Earth, their son, over and over again, in some kind of brutal fashion.
Yep.
Like it's showing, those.
It's very disturbing.
It's very disturbing. We'll just leave it at that. But doing horrible things to Mother Earth and the son and their son over and over again, and God eventually unable to stand it anymore, kills himself over it.
Yep.
And now she's just trying to get it done on her own now at this point.
It's almost like the original version of Mother.
Pretty much. That's what I was about to say. But except the roles are kind of switched.
Yes. Because it does tackle the same theme of the idea of a God. Yeah, except for God keeps on recreating.
Though I'll be honest, I do prefer Begotten over Mother.
Okay, I actually do too.
I will be honest.
I actually do too, but it does carry that same theme of pretty much God and Mother Earth and what that means. But
right,
it is disturbing.
It is a disturbing movie.
Oh yeah, I love that disturbing.
It is a very messed up movie.
Yeah.
About time whenever I got to the point where Mother Earth started doing something with something on God after he was dead.
Well, that was just weird for me. I wasn't disturbed
that freaked me out.
or disgusted.
I don't know why. That just freaked me out.
That just weirded me out. I wasn't getting disturbed until you saw the sun.
Yeah.
That's when truly I was starting to get disturbed.
But I would argue the movie does have kind of a beautiful ending, weirdly enough. With the flower growing, and always showing that there's always some kind of hope out there.
Yeah, the only real problem is, and I texted it to you in no certain words. I hate the way this movie looks.
You're talking about the
just like
the
all
slow motion,
the slow motion, the close-ups,
yeah.
The grainy filter,
Well, the grainy filter couldn't be helped because that was it was
true.
On.
But the slow motion, the close-ups,
yes,
help
that can't be helped. Because the movie had a budget of nothing.
Yes, and that was a huge problem. I think on the Wikipedia thing, I think I saw that. I guess what I'm saying is that with the fact that it has this grainy filter and the slow motion and the close-ups just makes it work. Mm-hmm. It makes it look worse.
Because I actually like the grainy filter aspect of the film, but again with the slow motion, it is just
there are some beautiful shots in this movie. Though.
My favorite shot in the movie is whenever Mother is dragging Son in the woods, and you hear that like beautiful score just start playing. It's like one of the few times the movie actually has a score because throughout it uses like a chirping sound.
Yeah.
But at that moment, it actually plays a score, and at the end, it plays a score.
I think my favorite shot is when Mother is walking over this horizon, and you just see her silhouette against a gray sky.
Yeah,
I think that's probably my favorite shot in the whole movie. But yeah, I do love the theme of this movie. I do.
Very intriguing.
Very pessimistic.
Oh, it does not think much of Earth at all.
Yeah,
which I can't disagree with it. But the world does kind of suck at times.
At times, yeah.
Yeah. There's good things in the world. This ain't just the world, but it is pretty much.
It's just showing this is the like. I guess this is the like just the negative aspects of it.
Yes.
I feel like this movie would be perfectly used with the Ludovico technique. You know, like having like the eyes like peeled open and like used as a torture method. Because I feel like most people think this movie's insane.
Oh well, actually,
and the chirping sound and stuff. I just feel like if you were to sit in a room,
oh,
pure pitch dark with your eyes like stapled open,
if I had
like
to watch this movie 6 times in a row, I'd probably end up killing myself.
Yeah, the movie's pure insanity. I love it, but by God, I'll probably only watch it 2 or 3 more times my entire life.
But again, I can appreciate this kind of movie though for the same reason I can appreciate
Beyond Black Rainbow.
Beyond the Black Rainbow. Just the fact that there's no dialogue in this movie,
none
at all, and there is no talking in this movie. It's just a bunch of images that you kind of pieced together.
Well, it's actually one of the few films I can ever think of that is actually like this. Like there's other movies that are black and white like this, like Eraserhead and stuff like that, which you can clearly tell the director was inspired by.
Right.
But it is its own thing to where I don't think there is any other movie exactly like Begotten.
Oh, wow, guys.
I can't think of any other film that's just like Begotten.
To get a physical copy of this movie, it's $100.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're rare.
$100, you can get one of the original VHS. I would actually really like to have that.
Be cool.
Yeah,
it would be really cool.
But yeah, I can appreciate a movie like this. And I would watch a movie like this over like something like Mother or Under the Skin or even Joker. I would watch this over Joker.
Just relates to you more.
It's not the fact that it relates to me more. I can just appreciate it more, I guess, with just how it's made and the way it's wanting to tackle its themes.
Okay, yeah.
Because again, like to me, those other 3 movies, it feels like the filmmaker, you know, to use a generic term, it's like the filmmakers want to have their cake and eat it too with those movies. Whereas in this one, it's just saying, you know what, we're not going to have a plot here. We're not really going to have a story to it or any dialogue or something. We're just going to like make a bunch of images together with a theme surrounding it, and with a very bare minimum premise.
I can't disagree with anything you're saying on this. This is one of my favorite films of all time.
Right.
So I adore this film just for the fact of how, not even as much as themes though, weirdly enough. I love its themes, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. Just, every time I watch it, it makes me feel just something that no other movie can make me feel. It is totally an original piece.
Yeah.
So, but what's your all scores for it?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
A 9. I give it
9. I give it an 11 out of 10. I think it's totally original.
Very original.
1 extra point for that originality. It has flaws, but flaws don't bother me. It's not about whether a movie's perfect or not.
Yeah, because you have to think, this movie came out in 1990. I don't think a lot of movies like this were being made in 1990. I don't think.
Well, I would say the 70s there were probably movies like this. But
right,
the 90s,
experimental.
Yeah. But the 90s, no. The 80s had one I can think of that was in this vein with Eraserhead.
Right.
But as for the 90s, I think this is like the one movie of its type really in the 90s.
Yeah. But yeah, I do appreciate movies like this, though. And it is nice to be able to watch one of these every now and then.
It's like an ink block. It's almost like a...
Actually, that's actually a great way of describing it. Yeah, it's very much like that.
Yep. Now, we had one more thing to discuss. Video game of the week was Brian's choice.
Yeah.
So, what game you wanting to discuss today?
Yeah, Brian.
Oh, man, what game was it? I tell you what, you guys were just now playing Arkham City.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we talk about Arkham City for a little bit?
Arkham City is the great... I talked about Arkham games last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did do pretty... I was not up to snuff to what I usually am on the Arkham games, but I did have fun beating up poor people.
I tell you what,
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I don't think I can't remember what my video game of the week was.
Well, then.
But I do have a topic I do want to talk about, though.
Okay.
What is your guys' favorite sequels?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Favorite sequel?
I already know what yours is. Go ahead and say War of the Rings to
Well, I'm gonna say before. You know, that's a given. I'm gonna try and think of one besides Lord of the Rings, because yeah, that is my favorite. But I want to think of one that, you know, beyond that.
I think I got one.
What is it?
I think mine is Terminator 2.
All right.
That's a really good one.
That's probably my favorite sequel of all time. What would you say yours is, Tyler?
Blade Runner 2049.
That's a good one. That is a great one.
Here we go. 007. Live Free or Die Hard. No, not Live Free or Die Hard. What's the one from Russia with Love? That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great one. All All right, yeah. What
Because-
makes them sequels unique to you compared to like the first one?
I think the thing I loved about Terminator 2 is, and I guess this is pretty much why a lot of people love this movie as a sequel, to where like the villain of the first movie is now the protagonist of this one, and that's just a very like interesting toss up. That is it's like and I'm pretty sure not a lot of people saw it coming.
Yeah.
In the when first watching it. Whereas, but then you got something like Blade Runner 2049, which just feels like in a good way, an extension of the first one, pretty much.
That's actually my point I was going to make. I actually prefer Blade Runner 2049 over the first one because I think it takes every aspect that was interesting from Blade Runner and improves on it. I think it's actually a better movie than the original Blade Runner. Controversial opinion because I think a lot of people will ram knives down your throat if you say something like that, but that's what I think. I think 2049 is a much better film.
It was one of my favorite movies that came out that year, actually, and a lot of good movies came out that year.
I think it was my second favorite, and that was 2017. 2017 was ridiculous.
Yeah,
for movies. That year was incredible. Last year was pretty great too, though. What makes your choice better?
I feel like it revolutionized the Bond movies. So because originally the Bond movies, it started with a TV show, weirdly enough. And it got to Dr. No, where it sort of started finding its footing, and I think that From Russia with Love is where they actually found out, like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a big thing. This is how we're going to have to do the Bond series. And yeah, they ran it into the ground a little bit, but they always found a way to
I actually think I've seen From Russia with Love.
Oh, it's awesome, dude.
It's a great movie.
It's terrific. It's in my top 10 for sure.
It's not my favorite Bond movie, though.
What's your favorite Bond movie?
Casino Royale.
Never watched it. I've not watched any of the new ones.
I adore Casino Royale.
I've heard it's good.
Yeah, Casino Royale I think it's incredible.
I do love the James Bond movies, the old ones. My favorite Bond was Pierce Brosnan.
You know, he was in bad movies, but he was a great Bond.
Yes, he was the one that
like Bond.
Yeah, when you think James Bond,
Pierce
I don't think
Brosnan.
Sean Connery. I think Pierce Brosnan.
I do too, actually.
Yeah, it's always Pierce Brosnan. I'm like, oh, why is it him? Like, I don't even like most of the movies he was in.
No, there's only one good one, I think, and the rest of the first one he did. What was the name of it? Was it GoldenEye?
He wasn't in GoldenEye, dude. No, wait, yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, GoldenEye was the first one he done.
Yeah, GoldenEye, that was like one of the masterpiece movies,
yeah.
GoldenEye.
The guy who directed GoldenEye is the same guy who actually directed Casino Royale.
Really?
Yep.
No wonder it's so good then.
With Casino Royale, who plays Bond in
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
And I've heard he is good.
It was his first one as Bond.
He's a good Bond, from what I've heard.
I would say
I have not seen any of.
He's good in Casino Royale, and he's good in Spectre, or whatever. I think that's the name of it.
Spectre, and then there's Quantum of Solace.
That one sucks.
That's what I've heard.
That was horrible.
Well, wasn't there another one? What was it called? Falling Sky, or
I forgot that. No, Skyfall's good.
Skyfall.
Spectre's the one that's bad.
Yes.
Spectre's terrible. Skyfall's really good.
Okay.
So he's done two great ones, two terrible ones, in my opinion.
Okay.
Quantum of Solace. That one's unwatchable.
Which, from what I've heard, considering the fact that I haven't seen many, I don't think I've seen a full Bond movie yet.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I've only seen bits and pieces of a
Really?
few. Really.
I got the whole DVD collection.
But from
I'm wanting to get it so bad because I'm actually a huge Bond fan.
But from what I heard, when you said Daniel Craig, he's got two great ones and two bad ones. That seems to be the overall like reaction to most of the Bond movies. It's they're very inconsistent.
Well, because none of the Bond movies fall like they're all just their own stories.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the theory a lot of people have is James Bond isn't the actual name of like the agent. It's just the alias that they give people, and 00 is like just the thing that you're assigned.
Right.
Like the new Bond will be the next James Bond or the next 00.
Okay. I tell you what. After Daniel Craig, who do you guys think would make a good Bond?
Idris Elba. I cast him for everything.
Idris Elba, he would actually be he's good and everything, but I would say. You know who'd be a unique choice?
Who?
Norman Reedus.
No.
That'd be unique.
I can't see that.
That'd be unique.
I'm trying to think.
We're gonna have a redneck Bond.
That'd be cool,
It
man.
would be different. It goes
Instead of having this posh guy.
Yeah.
Well, he could still even be posh, but like redneck posh.
like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you're gonna do a young Bond, how about the guy that plays Jon Snow in Game of Thrones?
Kit Harington.
Yeah.
He could
do that.
Yeah,
if you're going to do a
definitely
young
it.
Bond,
I can
see that.
Or what's the dude that plays Jamie Lannister? He could definitely do it. He's got the look of a Bond.
You mean Satan?
Yeah, the dude that plays Jamie Lannister.
Yeah.
He's got the look of the Bond.
I can't really picture him just because I think a lot of it has to do with just my perception of him from Game of Thrones. He's so good in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Right, yeah.
But 1 minute. Here he is.
And I weirdly always think of him from Batman.
He could totally be a Bond.
Actually, yes.
He could easy be a Bond.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Or Tom Hardy, because I want Tom Hardy in everything.
Tom Hardy would make a great Bond.
He could be.
Tom Hardy is Bond. Tom Hardy.
Because
let's go nuts with it. Why don't we just get what's his face for Batman?
Well, Robert Pattinson?
No,
Ben Affleck?
No. Dark Knight Batman.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Get Christian Bale.
Yeah, no, let's get Ben Affleck to be Bond. I'm Bond.
I was going to keep going. I was going to say Michael Keaton next.
Michael Keaton, George Clooney, Val Kilmer.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Well, actually, George Clooney kind of already has played a Bond-like character with the Ocean's 11 movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
'Cause, just with like the suave.
If Adam West was still with us, he'd have made a great Bond.
They
missed the opportunity right there.
Adam West would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few of them though, man. There's plenty.
I love doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Wait. Who's the most out of this? Like, you would never think, oh yeah, he could never be a Bond, but if he did, it would actually fit. Know what I mean? Mine's Norman Reedus. I feel like
guys that would surprise us with Bond, probably.
Yeah, mine's Norman Reedus. I really think.
Oh
he
man,
could be
that's
Bond.
actually a good question.
Zac Efron.
Yeah,
you're probably right on that
You're
one.
probably
actually.
right on that.
Yeah.
I can see the internet going nuts if he was cast as Bond, and then him.
I'll be honest.
Park.
Robert Pattinson would be my choice.
Yeah,
because that would
Did
be.
you ever hear
I don't understand why people freak out about Robert Pattinson though.
He is a good actor.
He's
Did
great.
you all hear like some rumors that like they were going to cast a black woman as James Bond?
Okay.
I didn't see that.
I thought I'd heard something about that. I didn't know. I saw the internet was blowing up about it.
Well, yeah, because the internet blows up about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the internet. That's what it's there
Until
for.
they see it, and then they're like, "Oh, that acted pretty good." I remember whenever Joker was starting off, and everybody's like, "Oh, why aren't they connected to DC Universe or whatever? Where's what Todd Phillip do movie? This sounds stupid." And then it came out, and it got nominated for 11 Oscars and made $1 billion. So
yeah.
But anything else we got to add on to this, or?
I don't think so. Unless you guys want to find another iconic character we want to put actors into.
That's a good one.
Well, I was going to ask you one more question, I guess.
Okay.
What do y'all think
Norman
about
Reedus.
New Batmobile?
Oh, Norman Reedus.
I'll tell you. I'll say what I
Great
said.
Norman Reedus. See?
I love how practical it looks.
Brendan Fraser 007.
Let's end this.
No, Brendan Fraser 007.
Let's end it.
No, Brendan Fraser 007.
This is stupid.
No, it's not. Brendan.
No, Mr. Superman, no here. No.